Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, WHTM. Attorney General Jeff Sessions traveled to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to talk to law enforcement about the opioid epidemic this morning. Sessions said, "And, today, I am announcing that we will be awarding nearly $20 million in federal grants to help law enforcement and public health agencies address prescription drug and opioid abuse. This is an urgent problem and we are making it a top priority. I believe that these new resources and new efforts will make a difference, bring more criminals to justice, and ultimately save lives." Full remarks are below. Thank you, Bruce, for that kind introduction, and thank you for your more than 30 years of service to the Department of Justice. Bruce, I also want to thank you for your willingness to share your own experience to raise awareness about the dangers of drugs. I can't imagine how difficult that must be. From one parent to another, thank you for your leadership and courage discussing the dangers of illicit narcotics, and the impact it has had on your family. On behalf of the President, I want to thank everyone here for the critical work you do to protect the American people from drugs and crime. We are in the midst of a daily opioid crisis and now a deadly epidemic. Make no mistake, however, combating this poison is a top priority for President Trump and his administration, and you can be sure that we are taking action to address it. In fact, President Trump recently declared this week both Prescription Opioid and Heroin Epidemic Awareness Week and National Gang Violence Prevention Week, in order to bring even greater attention and scrutiny to the devastating effects that drug abuse and gang violence have on Americans and their families. The President's first declaration makes clear to all those who are suffering addiction, seeking treatment, or who are in recovery, we stand with them, we are praying for them, and we are working every single day to help them. And the second puts all gang members and other organized thugs on notice, we are coming for you. We will find you. We will hunt you down, and we will bring you to justice. Let's be clear about what we are up against. We must face the stark reality. Today, we are facing the deadliest drug crisis in American history. In 2015, more than 52,000 Americans lost their lives to drug overdoses. That's more than the population of Harrisburg. For Americans under the age of 50, drug overdoses are now the leading cause of death. And unfortunately, 2015 was not a blip. The numbers for 2016 look even worse. Based on preliminary data, approximately 64,000 Americans lost their lives to drug overdoses last year. That would be the highest drug death toll and the fastest increase in that death toll in American history. And every day this crisis grows. Sadly, Pennsylvania is not immune to this problem. In 2015, Pennsylvania was 6th in the nation in fatal overdoses and nearly 80% of Pennsylvania counties had fatal overdose rates above the national average. Last year, following a 37% increase, more than 4,000 Pennsylvanians lost their lives to drug overdoses, 13 a day. And, not surprisingly, we've seen a surge in opioid prescribing. This was one of the major reasons that this drug epidemic began in the first place. Consider this, in the 20 years from 1991 to 2011, opioid prescriptions nearly tripled in the United States. That is too high. We have got to reduce prescription in the United States. In my home state of Alabama, we have had more painkiller prescriptions than Alabamians for over a decade. And for the last 5 years, we have had the highest per capita rate of prescriptions to people of any state in the country. No doubt as a result, we have now seen one of the highest increases in overdose deaths in the country, a jump of more than 20% between 2013 and 2015. These trends are shocking and the numbers tell us a lot, but they aren't just numbers. They represent moms and dads, brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends. They represent unique, irreplaceable people, and fellow Americans. They represent the 26-year-old pregnant mother who overdosed in Charleston, accidentally killing both herself and her unborn child. They represent the couple who were found dead in their Kernville home a week after they had overdosed on heroin. Their 5-month-old daughter was found with them, dead from starvation and dehydration. I recently had the opportunity to address the National Alliance for Drug Endangered Children. It was during this event that I was able to view this crisis through the eyes of a child. Just imagine for a moment you are a helpless toddler who cries for their mother to wake up and she never does, or the poor infant that is wailing in the NICU due to opioid withdrawal. You just entered this world and are already suffering, and for sins you did not commit. We must make progress for those currently afflicted and for those who have yet to be caught in its grips. Drug dealers acre,